I wanted to do a real quick update video on my first ride on the Trance with 2.6 tires. And I'm not riding hard today. I'm taking it real easy because I'm heading up to North Carolina tomorrow for 4 days of riding, and I'm actually a little bit tired, so I'm taking it really easy today. But I did push it hard into some corners to kind of see how they feel. My only concern was that they would wallow a little bit, so just the rims not being wide enough to handle 2.6s, but no issues at all. And I also wanted to make sure they didn't push over and rub the chainstays, but I'm gonna push on this tire pretty hard, and I push on it super hard and it will not touch the chainstays, so that's a really good thing. So my first impression, awesome. I think this could be the perfect trail size tire. When I started riding the Plus bike a little while ago, it's probably been over a month and a half since my first ride on a Plus bike, I kind of wondered if I would get a Plus size full suspension trail bike, but after riding these 2.6s, I don't think I need it. Now the final test will be my days of riding this bike in the mountains, so I wanted to get out today to make sure I liked the tires before I went off on a 4-day trip with them. But the final test will be next week to see how they ride up there, but I think they're going to be great. There's some pretty big rock gardens, some sphincter tightening rock gardens in Pisgah National Forest, and I think these tires are going to be really stable on that type of terrain. In the corners, I would say they feel almost as grippy as the Plus size tires. We had some pretty good rain last night, and so we have really good traction right now. So you know, I obviously haven't ridden these in slippery conditions like I was riding about 3 weeks ago on the Plus bike, but so far it feels like the traction is almost as good as the Plus bike. And of course, the rear being 0.4 inches bigger, it's going to be a ton of good traction on the climbs. And when you're coming into a corner pretty hot, especially after you start your turn, you're more on the rear brake. So use the front brake when you're coming in real hard straight into a corner, and once you start to lean the bike, you got to back off the front brake so you don't slide the front tire. And I'm getting a ton of braking traction out of this 2.6 knobby nick that's on the Trance. So yeah, really good size tire. Like I said, not too big that you're adding a lot of weight. I don't feel any sluggishness in this bike with these tires. So it's weird. It feels just about as snappy as the bike did with the 2.35 in the front and the 2.2 on the back. So liking it. The pressure that I ran for today was about 17 in the front and about 19 in the back. I didn't have my digital pressure gauge. I just used the analog on my pump, which is not 100% accurate. But next week in the mountains, I think what I'm going to do is run about, probably about 19 in the front and about 22 in the back to start off with, and then we'll adjust from there. Now, one thing that I'm going to do, just to tack it on at the end of this video, is when I get home tonight, when I'm kind of packing up everything for my trip, is I'm going to just put the Plus size tire on this bike. So I'm going to take the wheel off of the XTC Plus and just put it in this frame and see if it fits. I'm really curious. I think it will. I mean, we've got some pretty good clearance there. I don't think there's going to be an issue at all. The Plus size tire does come up quite a bit higher, so that's really my only concern. I think the width is going to be fine, but we'll see if this bridge touches or gets close to the tire, because even if it doesn't touch, you still want some mud clearance. So I'll do that when I get home and just tack it on to the end of this video. Alright, so I am back at home, and I'm going to put the Plus bike tire from that bike into the Trance, and let's just see what it looks like. So that's it with the 2.6, and we're going to put in a 3.0. And that's the Trance with a 3.0 Plus tire. So it actually fits. I'm kind of surprised. I can put like a pinky sideways barely in there, but yeah, you could run a 3.0 in the front. So You know, if you wanted to take the newer Trance and just go plus on the front and 2.6 on the back, that'd be a really awesome combination. I'd probably go 2.8. Now I wouldn't go more than 2.6 with the standard rim, the 27 millimeter wide rim that comes stock on the Trance. So if you want to go bigger than a 2.6, yeah, you're looking at a new wheel set, but you could do it. Plenty of side clearance. I mean, if it was like a super muddy ride, then you probably wouldn't have great clearance at the top. You might get some packing up on that fork bridge. But all right, so what I'm going to do is I'm obviously not going to run this tire on my trip. I want to run my 2.6s that I got. But when I put this back on the Plus, I'm going to show you how much clearance I have on that just for reference. And you know what? Before I put the wheel back on the Plus bike, let's just weigh these things. So this is the Trance wheel. So stock rim with the 2.6 Schwalbe knobby nick, and we're at 3.81. So let's weigh the Plus wheel. So the Plus wheel comes in at 4.72. So really just about a pound, not quite a pound heavier. So a lot of the weight's in that rim though. That's not a super heavy tire. So going Plus means a bigger, wider rim, and this is not a light rim. If you wanted to go with a carbon Plus rim, you could save a lot of weight. But anyway, just wanted to do that before I put this back on the Plus bike. So there's the clearance that we have on a true Plus bike fork. So if you wanted to go full on Plus on the front of a Trance like that, you could just get a new fork if you want to go crazy. I'm not going to because I'm loving that 2.6, but yeah, that's the difference between a really true Plus fork and one that's not. So anyway, there's my quick update on the Trance with the 2.6 tires. I'll be heading out in the morning to North Carolina bright and early, so tomorrow afternoon riding DuPont State Forest, slick rock, waterfalls, rock gardens, awesome downhills, and I'll shoot some video there and let you know how the 2.6 tires ride in that kind of environment. So thanks for watching.